Okay. Baby. You can't go on my page? Okay. I think we're live.
Oh, you think it's working?
Yeah, Steve is checking. I'm gonna check my phone because oh, I gotta turn this off. Okay. Yeah, we're live. I just gotta make sure. Oh, I gotta turn this off. Okay. Yeah, we're live. Oh, how do I turn this off, Steve? I just gotta make, because I need to see comments. Oh, okay. All right.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I turned the volume down on my phone. I'm gonna leave my phone because on here I can't see comments. So I use my phone to see comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
to see comments. So, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Thriving in Hope with Juanita. Today, I have the wonderful Karen. She is a stage 4 lung cancer survivor. She is from the suburbs of Chicago. So I met Karen. When did I meet you? I met you at.
You know what? We met shortly after I was diagnosed at a it was longevity, Chicago. It was the first Hope Summit in Chicago. We met.
Ah, yes. I remember.
But that was a hard time for you. And I think you had just lost your mom.
Yes. Oh, God,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
Wow, she remembers that, guys.
But then we met again at the Washington, D.C. conference that same year.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So
27.
we met, guys. So I've known her, for a few years now. She is my guest tonight. She is going to share her story, living with lung cancer, getting through this journey, crazy journey of ours. And she's going to share with us, what gives her hope and gives all of us that need hope, especially right now during this crazy time with that virus, give us hope, what gives her hope and, gives her hope. If you guys have any questions, I'm looking at my phone, so don't think I'm just looking at my phone to see.
No, I get it.
Hey, Judy, my friend Judy's watching us. If you guys have any questions for Karen, just type it in the comments. I will read them to her and she would answer your questions. If you have any questions, hopefully we do get some viewers. Usually I noticed that Friday nights, it was when I did Lisa on Friday night, I got more viewers than what I did on a Thursday. But because of this crazy, pandemic of this virus and people are going crazy.
It is crazy.
And so we might not have some viewers, but you go ahead and share your story.
Hi,
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So guys, this is Karen. She's gonna take it away and share her story with you all. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Leanna's having a fit.
And Juanita, I just had one other person ask me about logging in to see it, but if she's on my it would be on my phone. So am I able to text her and talk to you or no?
No, she would have to go to my Juanita's Fight Against Lung Cancer page and view it there.
Okay. And
so you could probably message her and tell her to go on that page.
Okay. Is that okay if I do that for a minute?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, and tell me once more. It's Juanita's
Fight Against Lung Cancer Facebook page.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, guys, she'll be back. She's gonna let some people know. Oh, my hands are dry. Or a friend of hers know where to go so she could see her share her story. So meanwhile, while we're waiting for Karen, I'm just, this whole thing with the virus is just out of hand. It's just getting crazy. I don't understand the shortage of toilet paper. I understand that many might be quarantined for 14 days, but you're not going to use that much toilet paper for 14 days. I mean, right?
Were you just talking about the toilet paper?
I'm like, it's not that serious, people. I mean, yeah, it's serious, but toilet paper? And then people, you know, I told my husband, well, shoot, we got toilet paper, but go buy a few more just in case. My goodness, it's gone. So people, you know, you need a roll, I got a roll. You know, just come to my house, I'll give you a roll. That's crazy. Or do it the old school. Or you know what? We have socks that don't have a pair. Use them socks and just wash them. Old t-shirt, cut it up in squares and use that. Hey, you know. And Adam and Eve time, what did they use? Watch your head. What did they use? Leaves. Go find some leaves.
My sister just said that.
Wrong. There they are.
I'm back. Can you see me, Juanita?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, hello, sweet baby
Hey,
girl.
hi.
Hi.
Yes, Karen. Dile hi. Say,
Hello there.
okay, she don't want to be with grandma. Oh, no. Want to sit with grandma. Okay. Don't touch anything, girl.
Hello there. That's a very sweet voice you have. You're at grandma's house?
Say yes. Dile yes.
What'd you do, girl?
Well, that's amazing.
Okay, thank you, Leanna. Come on, let's go.
Wow.
Say bye.
Bye. Thank you for
See you later. Thanks for saying hi.
There you go. Yeah, because she started messing with stuff there. Ooh.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Is mad. She's still mad. Okay. Put a 5 seconds of fame. So, okay, guys. Let me see. Judy and Pet. Oh, they love my hair. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think.
It does look great.
Huh?
It looks great.
Thank
I saw
you.
Yeah, I saw it when you posted that you had
Yeah.
changed. It looks really good.
Yeah, I want to do something different. So yeah, I might make these streaks here maybe a little bit lighter. I don't know yet. I have to call my girl to do my hair. So anyway, so go ahead, Karen. Share your story. Let the audience know. You know, when you were diagnosed, what stage you were diagnosed, what were the treatments you went through. Just take us through your journey when you found out you had stage 4 lung cancer.
All right, and if there's something that's not making sense, feel free to ask me. I was diagnosed almost 3 years ago in 2017, and I was working. I work at a high school. I'm an English teacher, and
Okay.
and also I'm currently the head of the department, but I was teaching then, and I was applying for the job to be a head of the department. At the same time, I was sick and having a little trouble breathing. Like sometimes when I would lie down, I would feel pain in my like in my chest, and I didn't know what that was. But eventually it got worse, and I went and checked, and for a while they thought I had fungal pneumonia.
Okay.
They told me that, and I thought that was kind of funny, and so I would tell people that I had fungal pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, that was sort of a whole long journey, because I went to the doctor, and then she's like, no, this is nothing. And then, I got a call back like almost instantly that I had to go to the hospital and the ER. And that was when they were doing just x-rays and things like that. But it's really interesting. From the very beginning, they looked at the x-rays and they said, oh, this is probably like pleurisy or some residual pneumonia you didn't know you had. And they said, but don't worry, it's not cancer. And I was like, oh, I wasn't, I was like, oh, I wasn't worried.
Right.
But, so then that kept going. And at every appointment, when they were trying to figure out the fungal pneumonia and they started treating that, someone would always say, don't worry, it's not cancer. But about, I want to say 8 weeks later, I got re-scanned, and the I can't think of, what's the name of the person who does the throat scans and stuff?
Pulmonologist?
Yeah, my pulmonologist. By the way, I can't, the medicine I'm on right now, I can't think of words ever.
It's okay. It's okay. You're doing great.
Thanks. But so the pulmonologist called and she said, okay, you're not testing positive for this fungal pneumonia. She said, but I have a feeling I'm certain that's what you have. And she said, but we're going to scan again, and we're going to see if we can, she said, what she said is, I'm guessing that it will be much better when I take a scan, because this medicine's been working, and we'll know that it was fungal pneumonia. But when they scanned again, and it was, instead of being less, there was a whole lot more in my lung. And that's when she said, okay, we have to do a tissue biopsy. And they did the tissue biopsy, and I was actually at an appointment in my mom's memory care unit with my sister, who was in town from Portland, Oregon. And we were having a meeting there, and my phone rang, and I thought, I apologized and turned off the phone. But then it rang again, and it wasn't a number I recognized. So I just kind of pushed it to the side. It was just vibrating, rang a third, or it didn't, then I shut it off. And then the third time it came through, all of a sudden I realized, I bet it's a cell phone of this pulmonologist, and she is calling to tell me this is cancer. And I'm sort of skipping several steps there, but after they took it, and I went out in the hall and answered it, and she told me it was her right away, and she said, I'm so sorry, I was wrong. You have lung cancer. And so from there, it was just crazy. And I went back into the meeting, and I just said to Mary Kay, my sister, that we needed to, I can't even remember. I said I needed to call back the doctor, and but I started crying, and then
of course,
so the other people jumped up that we were having a meeting with, and they'll like, we'll give you the room, go ahead. And from there, they set up all these tests and everything, and they do the PET scan. So they're like, tomorrow you're going to do this scan, and on the next day you're going to do a PET scan, and we need to do a brain scan right away. So they're like, here are your appointments, here are your times. They made it all. And when they did the PET scan, then the next day they had me set up with an oncologist, and we went in for that appointment, and he told me that it was stage 4. And he showed me where it had spread, and at that time it was in my lymph nodes, I think, and several spots in my bones, in addition to the lungs. So that was how I got diagnosed, like, from that point. But he said, we have sent a sample in of your biopsy to get it tested for genetic markers. And he said, and I think because you are a you don't fit the profile at all. So that's what the pulmonologist said. She said, there's no way this is going to be cancer, because I was 50. I was in very good health otherwise. And I was a never smoker. So they're like, no way that this is pneumonia. So he said, I think it's going to be one of these genetic markers. And it turned out, he said, if it is, it's a game changer. You know, it's a whole different story. And we want you to hold tight basically for 2 weeks. And so I don't remember much from those 2 weeks, but it came back, and he called and he said, it is what I thought it was. And it's ALK positive is what they call it. Which means that they can do targeted gene, therapy on it with TKI.
Right.
And he was all excited because alectinib, which is a really great drug, had just been approved. Like literally at the big lung cancer conference in Chicago that summer, the same summer I was going through all of this. And he said, you're going to be my first patient on alectinib. And you're going to take it, and what we think is it will hold the cancer back from progressing, or it will even, fight back some of the cancer. And I got the alectinib. I mean, there's other stories in there because I had trouble getting the medicine and blah, blah, blah. But I got the medicine and started taking it, and it really made a difference.
That's awesome.
The first scan, I can't even remember, but they were like, this is so much better than we could have even anticipated. Like it definitely, not only was it not progressing, but they saw like something like I want to say something like 30 or 40% less cancer. And they could already see signs of the bones healing a little bit in the places where the cancer was. So it started working right away.
Oh, that's awesome. Karen, did you have brain mets?
So I didn't at first.
Okay.
But at the end of the school, so I guess I didn't say that the same day I got really sick and had to go to the and I went to the ER was also the day that they announced I had gotten the job as the department chair at the school where I work. And I went to okay, I just lost my train of thought of why I was telling you that, but I didn't.
You said because you went to the ER, and
because I remember because I was still. So it was the end of the school year, 2 years later, and they tell you on the something like alectinib that what will happen is this is a great drug, but eventually your body's going to figure it out, and the cancer's going to figure it out, and you will progress. And so at the end of last school year, I went in and they're like, oh, you have a new spot in your lung. And they're like, but if it's a rogue spot, let's wait and check. Next scan, we'll wait another 12 weeks. They said, if it's a rogue spot, we'll just radiate it. And but then I also said, I haven't done a brain scan for a while. And he said, you're right, let's do one. And when they did the brain scan, they found a met there also.
Just one?
One small spot. And I know you've been dealing with that recently. So, and that really freaked me out. I would say the brain met was worse than, I don't know why, but anything else. In a way, like I was just like, oh my gosh, not my brain, And then so they waited, and when they rescanned, it was still kind of the same, both in the brain and in the lungs, and they decided to radiate.
Okay.
So they did my lungs first, and then they waited, and because the spot was so small in my brain, and they rescanned, and they said, oh, it's staying small. Let's wait instead of radiating the brain, since that's a big deal, But the next time I don't even know now what the timeline was, but the next time
You
I
should, you
scan,
should be going every 3 months.
okay, so the next time I go, yeah, I go every 6 weeks and I scan every 12 weeks. That's right. So, but I think he started moving it up a little bit because all of this was happening. He was scanning it a little bit at shorter intervals. But,
Okay.
so that we were kind of on hold, and, just recently they did another, so the next scan, I think,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, so they had radiated the lungs. They're like, that should take care of that, and this way you can stay on the alectinib, and that was, great news. And the next scan, they saw a bunch of new stuff in my lungs, and they saw then the next one, they saw some suspicious spots in my liver. And then they scanned that, and they found that it had progressed to my liver and spleen, and it was going fast, and that was really scary. That was in November, I think.
Okay.
So they're like, you're done with this medicine, officially, and we're switching you to lorlatinib, or I
Lorlatinib,
think it's
yeah.
called Lobrana.
Loratinib, yeah. Loratinib.
Yeah. And so, but before I started that, and I had a really hard time with it, and
That's what I heard.
a crazy time. I mean, hallucinations. I could barely speak sometimes. Like I would really halting. Other times it was okay. But horrible neuropathy. Just it really was rough, which I ended up in the hospital on Christmas Day because I got this terrible headache, and I ended up being in there for 10 days. Like we have to try and reset your body. So they took me immediately off of the medicine. And then they said, we're going to try and get you to restart in about 7 days on a lower dose. And so that's what they did. So and that was just crazy. That was crazy pain and a whole crazy thing at the hospital. But after I was off for about a week, it started feeling better. So they put me back on the 25 milligrams, and that is what I've been doing since I came home. I'm beginning to have a lot of, but what I didn't say is that at Christmas, when I went in, they also scanned again, and the lorlatinib, I had been on it 5.5 weeks, and it was already working well. Like, huge difference in my spleen and liver.
That's good.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we got to keep you on this medicine somehow, so that is what we are working on now. I just scanned last week, and they, we were kind of nervous about it because I'm on such a low dose, and they would prefer me to be on a higher dose. So what they saw was that I was stable, but because I'm having symptoms again, I think it builds up over time for me. So I'm beginning to have a lot of those symptoms again. They decided to keep me on 25, and we'll just keep watching. But my oncologist said, you're stable, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy where you are with the cancer. Let's wait to talk about going up. If it starts doing something different, or if the symptoms go away, then I'll go up to 50 and try it.
Okay.
That kind of gets us. I'm sorry. I feel like that was
No. You're doing great. No. Yeah, I heard about alectinib, and I heard bad stories, horrible stories about loratinib.
Yeah, it is a crazy drug.
I just pray that something else comes that, if I ever get there, which I don't claim that at all, I'm like, no, stay where I'm at, that I could skip that. Yeah, I heard horrible things about loratinib.
It's it's like such a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Because it was amazing that in 5.5 weeks they
Right.
were, but it is a really hard drug. And obviously it's different for some people. It's a little easier but for whatever reason, my body does
Right. Yeah.
not
Everyone's
react
body.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's body is different.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. 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 I got Barb from New York. She says hi. Hi, Barb.
Hi,
And
Barb.
from Quebec, Canada is on watching us. So hi, Cecilia. Thank you guys for watching. And make sure you share this video. People, we still got to bring awareness, even in this crazy time of the virus. We still got to bring awareness. So when you were first diagnosed and they did an MRI, you had no brain mets, but then afterwards with the progression, okay.
Yeah.
And then when they did the radiation, was it SRS or CyberKnife? Was it just precise on the, okay.
And I forgot that, so once when I went into the hospital, the one thing they did, that the other thing they saw was that there was some swelling around the brain met.
Okay.
So then they decided they had to do the radiation. So I actually did that radiation I can't remember the date. I think I did it recent, like it was this, January maybe.
Yeah, just recently. Yeah.
Yeah, that I did the brain radiation on that spot, and we scan, I think next week or the following week to check and see what's happening with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they decided just to get rid of it, or to try, and
Right.
then,
So then right now, as of today, you are stable.
yes, they think so. Then they'll do the brain. They'll check the brain next.
Okay.
On the 24th.
Okay, so you have an appointment. Yeah, I have an appointment. When do I have an appointment for my MRI? I think it's next month. We're still in March. Yeah, see, I'm even confused.
I know, me too.
And I'm not on loratinib. I'm still on ceritinib, and I'm still like, huh? But I know that ceritinib at one point they call it the yucky medicine. It was bad, and ALK positive. That's one of our drugs. But you know what? From what I heard from loratinib, I'd rather be on ceritinib and have all the diarrhea in the world than to go
I'm so sorry about you. Yeah, no, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, I'm just keeping it real. I'd rather have all the diarrhea in the world than to go on loratinib and then go through what you and so many have gone through. And I heard about the hallucination. I heard, oh my God, I heard that your cholesterol shoots.
Oh my gosh. Shoot.
I heard, I'm telling you, I don't want to be on that pill. I'm not going to, I told my husband, I don't care what happens. I am not going to get on that pill. I'm not.
Well, it went from, my cholesterol in not even 4 weeks. I think it was like 3 weeks. No, it was, it might have been 1 week. But anyway, on lorlatinib. So I went in for the check-in because he does them often when you change the drug.
Yeah.
And it went from a tiny bit high was where I was. I mean, not even, I think they called it like normal high or whatever.
Yeah.
It was low 200. And when I went in right after taking it for, I think 2 weeks, I know I keep changing that number, but I think it was 2 weeks. It was 490. And my doctor was like, this can't happen. But the statin worked right away. So he said, you have to go on this. It's so strange because the treatment is so hard on your body.
Yeah.
But they really, what, the woman from Quebec, I heard that Canada did not.
And you keep talking. I'll be right back. You keep talking and go into what gives you hope.
What gives me hope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After this story, okay?
Okay. I was going to ask a question to the woman in Quebec about lorlatinib, and the idea that I heard that Canada did not approve it just recently, and I know that was very upsetting for some people, but I'm wondering why if you know what exactly they said about why they weren't approving it. But in terms of what gives me hope, there's a ton of stuff really that gives me hope. I mean, all of my fellow lung cancer patients, survivors that I've met along the way and doing the conferences with longevity. I have my little longevity sweatshirt on. I don't know if that shows up. All of those people give me hope. But you know, most importantly, my friends and my family. I have 2 sons, and it's been wonderful watching them the last 3 years, like from this diagnosis. You know, every extra day is great. And I have a great friend group, and then I have a family that is terrific, and particularly my sister Mary Kay, who flies in for almost every scan and has been a complete rock star. And then I have my other sister Chris, who reads all sorts of articles for me and then summarizes them so I don't have to read the bad stuff. There's so many things that give me hope, like just the fact that, I don't know, if I had been diagnosed with this with maybe, you know, I guess even like maybe 8 years ago, it would have been a 2 to 3 month life expectation. So it's such a different ballgame now that they have the TKIs, the drugs that go right to where the cancer is and then fight it. So I need Juanita to come back now. Let's see, other stories. Unfortunately, the longevity, there's a big yearly longevity conference, and they've changed the name. It used to be called the Hope Summit, but now it is the International Survivors Conference, I think is what they call it, and it's in Washington, D.C. every year. And that was coming up in April, and I was super excited about it. And people raise money for research, and it's a really all survivors and caregivers that go, but there are so many speakers that are experts in the field, doctors and palliative care people, survivors that speak and share stories, and it's an incredible conference, and it helps keep you updated on what's the newest kind of medicine and where things are headed, ways you can be your own self-advocate. And that just got canceled, but it's moved to August. So hopefully by August, some of this craziness will have hopefully by August, some of this craziness will have died down. It's hard to know with the coronavirus. It is an interesting time with coronavirus because obviously people with lung issues are at greater risk. But people who are doing traditional chemotherapy are actually in much, are much more susceptible to getting coronavirus. The TKIs, it's another way that it's really good for us, is that, you're not totally immune suppressed.
And the cat's on the chair. You see my cat? Move.
I did not see your cat, but I was anxiously awaiting your return. I was just talking about how with coronavirus, one of the great things about TKIs is that it doesn't go after your whole immune system like traditional chemotherapy, but that oh shit,
the TKI that it doesn't. You know what?
Oh, I was gonna say it's worse for you if you catch it because your lungs are already compromised, but
Right.
yeah, and they greater complications often. But the TKIs, you're not
Right.
immune suppressed, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's what I was, because I think in one of the lung cancer groups, I don't know if it was the longevity one or I think it was. They were talking about us getting, if some, God forbid, I don't wish that on nobody.
I know.
Cancer patient gets it, that well, of course, we're all compromised because of our lungs, but if we're on targeted therapy or immunotherapy, we're not as compromised as others. Like, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, well then that's kind of good on my end because, I'm on a targeted therapy. So yeah, that was great to know that. It's like, oh, thank God. But still, it's still kind of sort of high risk for us.
Right.
Yeah. Something about that it inflames our lungs or something like that. I'm not too sure. But I'm not going to worry about that.
Right. Enough things to worry about.
Exactly. We can't. We have enough to worry about than to worry about that virus. I mean, I know that the babies, small kids, they're immune to it because their lungs are still like pure. They're still good compared to ours as adults.
I was wondering. I hadn't heard yet.
You haven't heard yet?
No. I mean, I hadn't heard yet why the little kids weren't getting it. I knew they weren't.
Well, they said because their lung is more healthier than ours. They haven't been exposed to a lot of things like we have as an adult.
Okay.
So yeah.
Juanita, while you were gone, I was asking. You said there was someone from Quebec.
Yeah, Cecilia,
I was asking if she knew, because I heard that lorlatinib was not approved in Canada just recently. Like they decided not to approve it. So I was wondering if she knew anything about that.
Well, I don't know if she's still watching or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Cecilia, if you're still watching, Karen wants to know if lorlatinib is approved in Canada, if you're still watching. If not, we could probably send her, I could send her a message if she doesn't respond and ask her, and then I could let you know. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things are not approved in Canada yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Karen, besides you fighting, all of us fighting lung cancer and just living this crazy life with lung cancer, do you do any advocacy work?
My job is really crazy in terms of hours, but I ended up taking a leave. So I have been home, but because things were progressing and I think I was pretty nervous about the brain met and everything. And and since lorlatinib, I've been, certainly it's hard to imagine being full-time at, like, I don't even have the stamina for it. But so I'm on leave, but my other thought was that I'm on leave, I could potentially be doing more. So I was thinking that, at the conference of looking into that a bit more. But I have done a bunch. Well, not a bunch. I did a little especially I've done I've done like surveys. I've been in patient groups, to help with patient advocacy, where they interview, and that's information for doctors and drug companies.
Okay, good.
So some of that, like a little bit of that, especially at the beginning, I was doing that. So I would, I would be interested in getting back into some of the advocacy work, because I feel like I've been doing a little less recently.
Yeah, that'll be great. We need more people out there to, help us bring awareness, stop the stigma, all that crazy nonsense.
Right.
Cecilia says, sorry, I don't know. So she doesn't know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. I know there's some elkies up in Canada, so maybe I could reach out to them and ask them.
I do think I thought that I heard that it failed, and
Yeah,
I was interested, and I know for some people they were upset um because they were afraid of not having that as the next line, because there's not really anything else after lorlatinib. But
yeah,
now they're doing all those studies now
right,
about like mixing stuff, and I think
yeah.
they're come up with
And they're even going back. So um, if loratinib, that's it for them. I think I heard somewhere that they're even going back to the beginning. So, okay, so you did loratinib. Okay, now let's go back to Xiacori and maybe mix it with something or my pill. And so I know that they're talking about doing that, or they're doing that, or they're trying it, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, I think they're talking about mixing traditional chemo with an earlier
Yeah.
drug. Where you still have alectinib though to go to, which is great.
I still have alectinib, brigatinib, and loratinib.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I still got them. And so for me, because my brain mets are so small, I mean tiny, that they're just gonna monitor it. So
Right.
I didn't switch my targeted therapy, and I didn't want to switch it. This pill here doesn't make my cholesterol or my triglycerides go up.
Right.
Pill doesn't make my blood pressure drop, or it doesn't make my heart rate drop. I mean, where I know alectinib does.
Yeah, it does. I had a crazy resting heart rate when I was on alectinib. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, like, I think it went as low, sometimes it's like 48.
Oh no. See.
That was kind of crazy, but for some reason my body didn't freak out so much about that like it does with lorlatinib.
Yeah. And you were sleepy, and I heard that in alectinib you're sleepy a lot.
You're tired.
You're tired, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
I
because
can't
you're
be like that, girl. I got a gym, I got the baby. I know. That's why I just pray to God and ask him to keep me on these pills for the rest of my life. Because I'm not trying to mess up my body. It's already messed up.
It's great that you've been able to keep on one for so long. It's incredible.
Yes,
Yeah,
going on 5 years
yeah,
going on 5 years in July. Yeah.
yep, that's awesome.
I am the longest. I am the only one that have been on this pill the longest. The only one.
That's incredible.
The only one. Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only side effects I have is the diarrhea and occasional nausea. That's it. I don't have no other side effects. Thank you.
That's incredible. That's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good on it, and I'm glad that you're doing well too, Karen. I remember, like you would, post or whatever, and it is scary when you get on Facebook and then, or you hear from someone else, you read and you're like, oh no, it's always like, oh no, but we gotta keep fighting. We gotta be strong, and we gotta keep that faith, whatever faith people have. You just got that faith. Don't give up, no matter what. Never ever give up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and your attitude, Juanita, is so great. Like, it's great. So many people know you. Like, I remember hearing your name immediately when they're like, where's Juanita? You have to meet Juanita. And then I started seeing how much you were doing in terms of advocacy, and it's great.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I started doing these videos. It's been about a year now, and God put it in my heart to do these videos. And then, of course, Facebook had to stop they took out the option to add someone, and it was just like, oh my God. So I took a little break, and then it was time to start it up again. And so that's why I went with Zoom, and I was like, oh, I could do Zoom and stream it live on Facebook. And so I started up again, and I am literally booked. Like I have every week all the way up into
Great.
first week of May.
Oh, good for you.
So yeah, I'm booked for this month, booked for next month, and then I need to start booking for May. So anyone out there that want to share your story, I don't care what part of the world you live in. If you want to share your story, let me know. I could put you in May. I think I have the first week. The second week, I think who am I interviewing? Cliff, I think it's Cliff Norton. I think yeah. I put him in May. So, but he couldn't do the first week, so I think we did the second week, if I'm not mistaken. And I know for a while I was trying to interview you, but
I know.
it was always something. It's like I had to not cancel, but I had to find someone to fill in. And
I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. No. I understand. Hey, I understand. Life gets in the way. But yeah, I mean, I was trying to get you on, and I'm glad that today worked out. And I'm glad that you're on and you shared your story, and it's just, we have to bring awareness. We have to educate people. We have to stop that stigma, because anyone could get lung cancer. Not
right.
Anybody. Doesn't matter where you live, what you do. Doesn't matter your gender, your ethnicity, your race, your social status. None of that matters. Anybody could get lung cancer. Anybody.
And it's, I think right now the fastest growing group is women, my age and
yes, middle-aged women.
Smokers.
Yes.
So it's right. It's kind of.
I truly believe, and so does my husband, that if it's just the majority of the women getting lung cancer in middle age, our age, a little bit older, younger, now even in their 30s, even in their 20s.
Yeah.
And it's just mainly women. I can't stop to think, and my husband even said it. It has to be in the products that we use. He thinks it's in our perfume. I like to put perfume on. I like that body spray. I want to smell good. He really believes it's something in there.
And I know they say there's tons of bad stuff in all of our, like the, care products. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to believe, they need to look into that. They need to do studies in that. Maybe those carcinogens in there is something in there that's being used is causing that, because there's too many women that never smoked. I know women that they said they were never around secondhand smoke and still got it. It's something that we're putting, is it a certain type of deodorant? Is it the perfume, the body spray, the lotion, the body wash? Who knows? The makeup? I don't know. But it's something. It's something. So, well, no questions. So, no one's, yeah, I don't think anyone's asking. No, the last one was Nancy. And she says Cecilia's trying to post an answer.
What did she ask?
No, well, Cecilia was trying to type, but she couldn't type, and then she got it.
Oh, okay.
Said Cecilia's trying to post an answer, and I said, Nancy, I got it on my end, so I saw it. Yeah, my nose is itching, allergies. But Karen, thank you so much for taking the time on a Friday evening and sharing with us your story, and just giving us some hope out there that not only to me and to our lung cancer family, but even to anyone out there that might be going through something and probably lost hope. And just watching this video and hearing your story, you gave them that light, that small light in the darkness. And so yeah, I do appreciate you on a Friday night taking your time and doing this. And you got to see Leanna.
Yeah,
and you got to talk to her for a little bit. She was just talking away, girl.
And I'm glad we finally got this scheduled and got to follow through. So that's great. All right.
Yes. But thank you so much. Thank you. I will. And you keep getting involved and get involved and help us be that voice. We need more voices out there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Juanita.
Okay, no, you're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching. Until next week. Bye. Stop live stream. All right.